This is the XrmToolCast from CRM Audio with business applications MVPs Daryl Labar and Jonas Rapp. The podcast focused on tools available for the Microsoft Business Application Platform.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 8 of the XrmToolCast with your hosts, me, Daryl, always raising the bar, and Jonas, the Swede with the mead, Rapp.
Hi.
We have a special guest with us today, and this is the first time that we've pretty much we're stretching the entire globe trying to find a time to meet. Was interesting for this one since our guest is based out of Australia, and we have Jonas in Sweden and myself in America. We pretty much have the entire globe covered this morning and this afternoon and this evening. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and let our guest Natraj go ahead and introduce yourselves. Natraj, go ahead and talk about yourself here.
Hi guys. I was just a bit nervous. I don't know. This is the first time I'm actually doing the XrmToolCast. My name is Natraj. Pretty much in terms of the open source community, probably best known for my XrmToolBox work initially, and then probably after that it's just the tool Level Up. So I am from Melbourne, Australia, and I've been working in Dynamics since probably like 2006, and of late I would like to call myself a Power Apps person, and I just want to move away from that moniker Dynamics. I don't know, feels like very legacy to me, so I'm just like a Power Apps person. Yeah, so that's me.
Right. And I kind of get the feeling that many in our business like to say, now we work with CRM, let's stick to what we know. And that's the label we're used to. But you go the other way. You want to even get away from the dynamics and call yourself a Power Apps guy.
Yes, because I think the whole thing with the Dynamics, the Dynamics platform they had, what is that product? Dynamics Nav? Is it Nav or is it GP? Yeah. They just kind of like, I think there was a point of time where I was like so excited. I'm like, oh, CRM's winning and like GP is losing. So it's kind of like so pumped up for like CRM. We are the front runners. Like we are going to be the survivors. Now it's just like all about Power Apps. So I feel like we are kind of like lagging behind, and whenever we go to like these big conferences, I haven't been to many because I am in Australia, so I don't get the chance to go to a lot of conferences, but I have been to Ignite once in Australia, and I was like so excited for the first time, and I just couldn't see any Dynamics posters or any sort of marketing materials around Dynamics. It was all about Azure. Now it's just like pretty much the same, except that this time it's like Power Apps. So you just kind of like go there and it's like, hopefully they have some sessions about Dynamics, So I just kind of like, the future is probably like Power Apps. It's been rebranded. Every time I open up the Solution Explorer, it's Power Apps. So just want to stick to that. Yeah.
Next week you will be a Power Platform guy.
Yeah, I've been forcibly inducted into the Power Apps ecosystem.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. Yes.
So the tool that is probably the most well known now, at least, is the one that probably scares system administrators the most when I show it to them, and that's Level Up. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what Level Up is for those that don't know, how people can get it, and some of the history behind it.
In terms of Level Up, what it is actually a Chrome extension that pretty much runs, I would say, I would use this word arbitrary JavaScript probably, but it just feels like a scary thing. Like it's arbitrary JavaScript, but it's basically like bookmarklet. So the way the idea, I got the idea pretty much after I actually was, because there is a person in New Zealand called Paul, I think his last name is like, I don't know, I probably mess it up anyway. So his Twitter handle is like Paul NZ1. So pretty much he works for Magnetism in New Zealand, and he's pretty active in kind of developing a lot of bookmarklets. So I was like, back in the days when I started, I was doing a lot of manual work in the browser, and when I discovered his blog, I was kind of like thinking like, I should just like drag and drop these bookmarklets because these seem to be a lot of product. I still have them. I still use them because I use Firefox and I just jump between Firefox and Chrome, and I still have those bunch of bookmarklets, but it was kind of getting cumbersome because every time I'll just change the machine, or if I just walk over to my colleague's machine and I just want to do something, I'm so familiar, click this bookmarklets, run this guard mode, open this, properties, record properties, things like that. I have everything set up on my machine and I have synced it up, but not everyone has them. So I was thinking that, it's kind of getting cumbersome. I should make this a lot easier so that I can just run it from any machine. I can ask people to install an extension. Then I just started thinking, what is actually a way to do this? And Chrome is pretty much like Firefox is at that time, it was not using web extensions. So the way you have to develop an extension in Firefox is a bit weird compared to Chrome. It's pretty much HTML and JavaScript. So I was thinking, okay, if I'm going to develop an extension, it should be just Chrome. So I started developing in Chrome. And once you figure out how the plumbing works, it's pretty much like copy pasting the bookmarklet JavaScripts. So I just started out by porting a lot of the existing bookmarklets, guard mode was one of the bookmarklet that was pretty popular at that time, open record properties. So a lot of the initial functionality on the tool was the things I ported over from the bookmarklets. And then I just realized that there is much more powerful features available now because I can call the XRM, I can call the web API, I can call the OData API, I can pretty much go beyond whatever bookmarklets do, sort of build a mini app. So that's pretty much, but the way it started is just like simple port over of a bookmarklet so that people can just install it and they don't need to know how to run bookmarklets or how to drag and drop the scripts, things like that. And it makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like the origin for this tool is basically the same as for most other tools. There's work to be done. It could be done so much easier. I don't want to do it again. Let's create a tool for it or capture it all in the same sort of where you access it from the same place.
Yes, and another tool I'd like to mention is I think there was a tool from Sonoma Partners. They had a tool that run on the DevTools. So you press F12 and then there is this Sonoma Partners tool will be embedded inside the DevTools as a tab. But the problem with that one, it was not a problem for me, but I think for a normal, like a business user, they have to know that you have to open up the DevTools, click on this tab, and it had a sort of a similar functionality, like open record properties, look at the plugin, execution, graphs and everything. So it had sort of like that functionality built into it. But it was something that you had to run from F12, and you can't run the guard mode because I think it will protect you from doing harm in the system. According to them, this guard mode should be only administrator, but the bookmarklet is Googleable. So once it's Googleable, I don't know what kind of security you pretty much get.
No, exactly. And as Daryl mentioned, it's the sysadmin's nightmare. But what would you say is the most dreaded feature that you have in this level up, and why shouldn't they be afraid?
Dreaded feature that would be probably just guard mode because I don't think there is any other feature that is pretty much. I don't think there is any other controversial feature because this is the only one. And every time I show this and they say guard mode and they click it, it's like what it makes is the biggest one I think they have the problem with is makes the read-only fields editable. That is the only thing.
So for those who haven't used it, what is guard mode? What does it do?
So what is the guard mode? What it does is it does if you have tabs hidden, so makes hidden stuff visible and makes readable stuff read only stuff editable. So pretty much if you have tabs hidden out, sections hidden out, it makes it visible. If you have locked down some fields just through JavaScript, it just makes it editable. So that I think that is the biggest problem for people. Not like maybe hidden stuff being shown, maybe they don't think people have a problem with that, but just when they realize that it is actually editable, that's when I think people are like, oh, why is this editable? It's overriding this whole security. Yeah,
it really just exposes the obscurity through security that is kind of the default way of handling stuff in CRM. Most admins aren't aware of that in JavaScript. All these read-only fields that they've got set is you could easily remove that, and anybody with 10 minutes of Googling and 20 minutes of getting the right semicolons in the right place could go through and run that script themselves if they wanted to. So for me, it's not. I always stress this is what CRM, this is what the CDS, this is what the actual platform allows you to do by default. It's just easier to do now than what it was before, but you always need to be concerned about any sort of field that you truly want to be locked down to do something like field level security. So.
Yeah, I just want to say that, I mean, now when we're supposed to create Canvas apps and users are creating them on their own, they don't get the form limitations that the administrator has imposed on the Dynamics forms with the model-driven apps, where you have read-only fields or hidden fields and so on. If you create your own Canvas app, you can add basically whatever to it. So the ones who should be afraid of these type of tools are, of course, those who base their security on just the client side limitations.
Yeah, I think this is also remind me of back in the days, like I think maybe in the 90s, when they had like this whole concept of you have a form, you have a whole bunch of fields, and then based on the user input, there'll be some hidden fields which will be setting some values, and then you submit the form and you kind of hope that the user is not editing those hidden fields. It's kind of like that. So you can't really rely on whatever is coming from the client side. Just if you really want to something to be truly locked down, it just has to be validated again on the server side. You have to lock it down, not purely based on the visibility of it or just the local state of it, because pretty much now everyone has access to dev tools, and there is a lot of content. Pretty much you can do whatever you want because it's all available in Google, and it's not really hacking it or anything. It's just like using the client API. So I think the fact that it's so easy for a non-technical user, that's what probably scares people the most, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go through some of the other features here. So besides God mode, one of the other features I find extremely valuable is the show logical names. And you added a hide logical names too, which is a nice touch as well, because that ruins your form once you click that button. But go ahead and give us an explanation what show logical name does.
Show logical names. So basically what it does is every field on the form has got a logical name and a schema name. That's pretty much an internal name, not the display name. That is this logical name and schema name. It's useful for developers when they are maybe they are running a fetch XML query, or when they are probably building up a report, or when they just like if it's on-prem, maybe the 10 people who are using on-prem, they may want to run something on the SQL server, so they might want to know what is the logical name for the field. So for things like that, and maybe for data migration, pretty much when you want to check the data migration, you need to know logical names. So it is pretty cumbersome to open up the form from the customization area, double click on each and every field and find out the logical name. So what this does is pretty much, because the way the form is built in CRM is internally that logical name is visible as a property, and this one just exposes it as like a text field. So you pretty much know what is the logical name for a tab, for a section, for a web resource, for a field, and it makes your life a lot easier when you just want to query, when you want to know what is this particular field name. Yeah, when you're building a query, mostly for query. Yeah, I'm just building OData. I just use it when I build a OData query or a web API query. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any metrics on which parts of your tool that's used most? 'Cause that would be interesting, I think.
Yeah, I don't really track it because I'm not a JavaScript developer by so I just kind of like I just learned it. Like, I'm not a Chrome extension. This probably only my second Chrome extension, and the first one I actually pulled it because it was kind of done better by another Chrome extension. So this was my second Chrome extension, so I kind of learned it. So I didn't really, and I didn't want to get to this whole kind of business about what is that European law now that I have to be aware of GDPR. Yeah. I don't want to spend time to kind of analyze what are my responsibilities for tracking this information.
True. Yeah. That's true. I noticed you have, though, your pinned tweet on Twitter is from, I think, April last year, where you passed 10,000 downloads of the extension. But today it's like 20,000+, I guess.
Yeah, that was, I think, because I was checking this today morning, and I was kind of like, I was kind of surprised, like, 22,000. No, so far it's like 22,000. Yeah, it's crazy. So that's awesome. It just started out as like,
Yeah, I would be super curious for metrics on that if it was my tool, but then again, that's me.
Yeah, but I think that the fact about I think there was an issue in GitHub that people were like, what are you tracking? What are you finding
Yeah.
information about me? So, things like that. I don't want to receive any issues like that. So I would guess like I use the schema names like I'm just going by my experience. I use the logical names a lot. I use God mode a lot, and I use users and roles. These pretty much these
Okay.
three I use pretty much every day. So that's my kind of like because I want to assign security roles and I just like use that one. So these three
So
I use pretty often. Yeah.
the users and roles, what does that do?
So what that does is pretty much it has a table, gives you a table with like each role, each user, and then what are the roles assigned to them. So pretty much you can just search them instead of navigating the security users and then clicking on the roles. You just get one page. Pretty much it's a
Yeah.
it's a fetch XML query. It's pretty much one page which like a system user roles, and it just
Yeah.
pretty much has all the. So you can just quickly search it and it filters the table straight away. So and if you want to click it and assign new roles, it makes it a lot easier. It's kind of like
All right. All right.
yeah.
I know there's another feature called all fields that will give you a table with all fields for the current record that has data and where you see sort of the logical name and the value of it. And I actually have a request from one of our listeners, Martin Burman in Sweden. He was wondering, would it be possible to have that list with all fields, to have it with all, actually all fields, not just those that contain data?
I think it's because of the way it returns in the web API. Because I think Flow actually gives you nulls. It doesn't really care about whether I think it doesn't care about whether it has a value or not has a value. But the default behavior, I believe, it doesn't return null. So I think that's where it is. Why it doesn't return like the fields that are null. If it is null,
Yeah.
it doesn't. I think the API does not even return it. So
No, that's
yeah.
I think that's true from my experience as well. So what you would have to do to include those that has a null value too, then you'd have to read the metadata as well and
Yes.
make sure you list all of them with null. So I understand if there's a bit more work to it or another approach to get that working.
Yes, I think the way for that will be get the metadata and then populate the table with the metadata first, and then just basically use the value for the property,
Yeah.
and then just build it from there. Yeah.
And then the good part about that is then you could keep them sorted, because right now it's kind of annoying when you try to compare two entities with that. It's not sorted because you've got all those nulls in some places or in other places, and so it's kind of hard to go through and navigate that. So
Yeah, but I guess you could sort it anyway, right?
But I still don't understand why Flow behaves a different way then, because I always notice like Flow returns nulls. It doesn't really. I wonder how it actually does it, because the OData behavior is actually not this.
No.
It pretty much like ignores the nulls. Yeah.
But I mean, in Flow, you have it does read the metadata, so I think that's already done. I mean, when you want to update the record, you see all the attributes there before reading. So I think that's the key here, that Flow is metadata aware already.
That might be a way. I think that's pretty much what I had to do, I guess. Just because now I think there is a internal function to get the attribute and the entity metadata, so I could probably try that. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any new gadgets in the level up coming? Any thoughts of new ideas there?
I just want to do something for Flow or Power Apps or something, like because I pretty much like I am running out of ideas. I think for what are the things that I can do inside. Like now I am thinking like more like mini apps, like things that takes me like 6 or 7 clicks. Maybe I can automate it with like like the user settings. Like there was some change. I had it for like maybe a brief period of time for 2-3 months when there was this the April update. The April update had this new left-hand side navigation that was available under a preview flag from October. So I had a button in the level up extension for a short amount of time, which helped you to set that particular value so that you can see the new extension without without enabling the preview flags.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like that. So anything that takes like 15-20 lines of JavaScript that can be encapsulated as a button, that is kind of like simplifying the navigation. So yeah, that's where I think I don't have many more like 2-3 liners anymore. It looks like running out of ideas for that. Yeah.
So what you can do with those lines of code, you can obviously read data, you can read the metadata. So basically, you can do anything with the CDS platform from that, right?
Yes. So once it's pretty much like it's an app, right? So you pretty much anything that you can build it up in JavaScript, any sort of it's like a sort of PowerShell script, right? So pretty much just package it up into a single button, and it does like a whole bunch of things and makes your life easier, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I am just looking. I think that's where I think if I'm doing some future updates, that's where I probably focus, because the bookmarklets kind of thing, I don't know what else is left. Pretty much like everything. Maybe I can do something to jump between classic mode and the UCA kind of thing.
Yeah, a app picker or something.
App picker.
So you pick the modern UI, whatever it's called, unified interface app that you want to see the same record in or something, and switch
yes.
back to
I think that was one other thing, like where maybe it's hidden. Once I remember seeing it last year under the gear icon. There used to be a menu called open in classic mode or something. So I don't know. I don't see it anymore because UCA is enabled by default for new orgs. So I could probably just strip out the app ID, and then it's a classic UI. But I don't know whether there is any other additional setting that prevents you from ever going back to the classic UI for new orgs, because for existing orgs it's much more easier. You still have the option to go back. I'm not sure what they have done to kind of force people to always use UCA. Yeah.
So I assume you're also open to suggestions for new features in the Level Up, or is it hosted on GitHub or something, so you can post issues there, or how would you work?
Yes, so the code is actually hosted on GitHub. So it's basically you can fork the code from there, and if you want, if you're pretty much a Node developer or JavaScript developer, you can submit pull requests from there. If there are some issues, you can either submit it on GitHub, or you can also submit it on the Chrome Web Store. So I just check pretty much both the areas, and if it's in a GitHub, it's easier for me because I get an email when that there is a new issue. If it's on Chrome, I just pretty much sporadically check it every couple of days to see whether there are any new reviews or any support kind of feedback logged in there. But I check both the areas, but I check more GitHub more, I guess, because it's pretty much in my flow to kind of get these
Sounds
like emails.
You need to put a GitHub button on it, then that people can go and click on, take them straight to the GitHub issue place, and they can enter in.
Yes, I think I have a button.
Requests.
Yeah, I have a button.
There's a little button there that said help or report issue. So. Yeah, that's great. But you mentioned in your introduction you are not only working with Level Up. You've done a few XrmToolBox tools. I figured we should mention them at least. So which are those and what do they do? Just briefly.
So in terms of XrmToolBox, I just checked it in Nougat just now. So it's like 5 tools I have. And I think among all these, it looks like the most popular one is Export Excel. So it just helps you to export more than 100,000 rows, or I think 10,000 by default, and you can increase it to 100,000. And it actually integrates with another popular XrmToolBox tool called Fetch XML Builder, which you might know about, Jonas.
Yeah, I heard about it.
To help you to build the Fetch XML queries, and then you can just export it from there. And then there is another tool called Solution History, which pretty much uses the import log. There is an entity called import log in the system. Every time you import a solution or export a solution, you pretty much have a trace of it in the import log, and then it actually surfaces that and helps you to see what solution was imported, who imported it, whether it was successful or whether it failed, what were the components that were packaged up into the solution. Pretty much like it's pretty much like a administrator tool, and I think Microsoft also has a new entity that is called Solutions History it's called. So that's pretty much it does the same thing. So now it's baked into the product. So this was, I think at the time when I did this tool, there was no virtual entity. So but now if you want to use this, you pretty much can do it from CDS, I guess, or CRM. Yeah.
I think your tool though does more, lists more details about the solution imports. So where you have the the progress percentage if it failed, and what the contents were. And so I don't think that's available in the out-of-the-box virtual entity from Microsoft.
Yes,
but on the other hand, the out-of-the-box entity also shows deletion of solutions, which I don't really know how that's done, but you can see those as well there.
Yes, this one is more like I just use this to keep track of if there are like the periodic Microsoft internal updates that gets imported in the system without kind of any sort of intervention. I just use that to track. So that's how I'm able to figure out what has been Microsoft doing. Like, there is a whole bunch of solutions that have been installed. I just go into the solution and see what have they imported. So I know when Farms Pro is hitting this instance. I kind of know when there are new custom control framework controls hitting this. So kind of useful for me to track, keep an eye on Microsoft.
Yeah, I use it when we're in a bigger team and suddenly something has changed in the environment, and I use it to see who should I go yell at for importing a solution that shouldn't be there.
Yes, but I think what I off late I have actually did this. I did this as a flow. So pretty much I get an email at 8 a.m. every day with like a table that says like here is the solution that was imported, and then I can click on the solution and it takes me straight into the solution record, and I can just see it from there. So I just use that one. I just shifted to flow now. Like being a Power Apps person.
Yes,
I'm a Power Apps person now. So yeah.
So here's another thing I'm going to have you have to do now, Natraj. There is the new and just I don't know when exactly came out with it. I think it was this week. There is a new bring your own test case to CDS. And so now you could take a unit test, like a C# unit test, and upload it to Microsoft, and they will run it, and you can have it triggered to run whenever they import or whenever they upgrade your org or your database. So either the application server or the database server, it could trigger and it could run, and then it could output to a flow HTTP listener sort of thing, and it could then send you an email if a upgrade breaks your unit test. So that's something else that you can
I remember seeing your tweet, but I never understood how they actually, because they have the hooks, right? They have the events that you can listen to or subscribe to. I never understood where you actually host your test. Like how do they know?
Host it.
They host it for you. Huh.
Wow.
Yes.
But you said if it breaks, they send you an email. It's not like they're stopping the upgrade.
No, correct. Well, they don't even send you an email by default. It's up to you to actually wire up that part. So
okay.
Yeah,
but it's something.
It's kind of like I don't know, it's a good first step, I guess, because a lot of times you just hope that now we have April update coming up, but there are not a whole bunch of changes, but you just kind of like hope that nothing goes wrong, even though you tested in preview. But yeah, I think this will be a good thing to kind of like to have it in the arsenal, I guess, just to so I think we probably can reach the same level of I don't know, like Scott Duro, I guess everyone can be one. Just like
everyone can be a Scott Duro.
Everyone can be a Scott Duro. Just write the test and just subscribe to this thing, and then you can be a Scott Duro. Yeah.
We need a Scott Duro and a day camp. Is what we need, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I just think like because every time there's like it's a preview program. Oh, here is like a new feature. You got like a whole bunch of issues logged. I'm like, who is this person? I was like, all right. He got like a whole bunch of tests. I think now I probably like now maybe like people like I don't know, I'm not like a ALM like or DevOps kind of like not a huge passion of mine, but yeah, I think you, Jonas and Scott and I think a few other people, I guess like they're like really passionate about it. So I guess it's kind of like good that it's available for common persons like me, I guess, to kind of use it. Yeah.
So you mentioned the export to Excel and the solution history. What else is in there?
So I have another one, entity image updater. So that one, what I used it for, pretty much for when I want to do like a nice demo. Like a nice demo pretty much is having all the entity images on the account record or contact record so that it looks much more presentable when you take screenshots and when you put it on the PowerPoint or put it on the projector. So the way to kind of like do that was like a manual process before. I just had to get all the images, upload it one by one. So what I have done on this tool is you can just search for an email on Gravatar You can search for a Twitter handle on Twitter, and then you can actually check a website and get the logo of the company from Clearbit. So, and it does. And if you want to, if you have all the resources, if you have already all the images and everything, you pretty much can do it from the file system as well. But that it pretty much does this. It, just run it. Same thing like previously hooked up to Fetch XML Builder, and you just kind of run a query, and then you can either say this particular view update all the contacts, all the accounts, or and a custom entity with the image field, and here is the email field, and then you tell it what to look up. So it pretty much updates the images from there.
Okay. So if I just have myself as a contact in the system and I've entered my Twitter handle there and run this tool, my Twitter image will show up on my record.
Yes, so you have to specify that. Okay, here is the field that is the Twitter handle. You just have to choose that field that contains the Twitter handle, and then once you do that, it pretty much will just look up. I haven't checked it recently because I don't know it doesn't use the Twitter API. The way it does it is just sort of scraping. So I don't know whether they have done something recently to change it, but Clearbit actually works, definitely. Okay. And then Gravatar works because those are, the Twitter is just a bit, I have to test it after this because this was just scraping it from this.
Right. So, and next we're going to take you through all your tools now.
This one I really like, but the reason I think this is probably this has got the lowest number of downloads because I didn't actually promote it at all. I had one tweet about it and I had a video about it. This is Recent Items Manager. There's a tool called Recent Items Manager. What it helps you to do is, it actually, the whole MRU, the most recently used thing that is like a clock symbol on the old interface, and now in the new interface, I think you get it probably says recent items. And what it helps you to do is look at what have been people opening up, what kind of views have they been opening up, what records have they been accessing. So it helps you to look as an administrator, if you're an administrator, and someone says to you, I opened up this record, I opened up a contact, I am getting an error message, something like that. You have no clue. Maybe they didn't send a screenshot, but you know that they opened it up like 2 minutes ago. So if normal situations, you have to go to the desk or do a screen share session and then find out as they are doing it. But this helps you to see, based on the MRU, it helps you to see, okay, this particular person, show me what I've been accessing. It's all stored in the system anyway, so it just helps you to surface that information. So you can pretty much see when someone says that I access this record, I access this view, or even for just kind of looking at the usage, have people been using the system? Is anyone using the system, or people be just kind of not slacking off, or maybe it's people don't like it. Just to gauge the adoption, you can kind of use this to gauge the adoption. If people are opening up a lot of records, looking up a lot of views, okay, system is being used frequently. It's I think probably before we had the metrics on the Power Apps admin portal. This was something that I used. I think even now it's a valuable tool to use if you want to really quickly, because I use it even now to kind of check, because I in the current project I'm working, we have an integration API. So I really don't know which particular record will be returning me data. So I have to ask the people to kind of say, okay, which particular record did you open? I need to test this thing, the integration is working or not. But now I don't need to, because I can just look at that person. I know that this person has actually accessed some record because he was a developer working on it. And then I can just say, okay, what record did you open recently? I know, okay, this particular record. I'll just open it myself and then check it. So
I just went out and downloaded that plugin because that sounds awesome for when you are troubleshooting someone saying, hey, this broke, and you have no idea what record they're actually looking at.
And this is the most awesome thing that I didn't say, because this one helps you to pin records. So if you want to pin records, unpin records, you can do that as an admin. It just helps you to do that. So you want to pin up a dashboard, you want to pin up a contact or something, or a configuration record, or a view, you can just pin it.
It gives you magic powers. You could be on the phone and say, hey, I pinned this to your most recently used. And then you go, whoa.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
They'll be scared of you then, because you have all these magical powers to do things.
Because initially I was thinking that I should do it in the user settings utility, but user settings, because I use user settings utility a lot, because I just want to, when I have the system, I'm ready to I'm ready to release it out in the wild. I'm just okay. I want to do some default settings. I want to confirm everything. Everyone is in the same locale. Everyone has got the same currency. All the datetimes format is correct. Like error reporting. I just do a whole bunch of things to get the system ready. And this is also one of the things. I want to pin the right dashboards. I want to pin the right views. So just get it ready. Yeah.
So you can bulk update people's views that are pinned then?
Bulk update, yeah, you can bulk update.
So if I want to have all my users have a particular view that's pinned, I can select all the users and drag that view into that pinned one. And
the trick about that is you have to find one record that has the view, right? And then you select the view, then you select everyone else and then pin it. Because you have to first find a record which has the big. It doesn't help you. There is no functionality to get the view URL or something, so you have to find a user, most likely you. I will just go to the view myself, and I'll see it in my history. Then I'll select the view and pin it to everyone else's. Yeah.
Nice. So, your last XrmToolBox tool until now is actually helping a lot of other tool developers out there to distribute their solutions.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
This is a competition for app stores. I don't know. No, probably not. This is like something that I did that was pretty much like just primarily for installing REST Builder. I had this primarily for installing REST Builder because I was installing it a lot along with Ribbon Workbench. But Ribbon Workbench is a bit more, I don't think you get an option to download the zip file. You have to submit your I think your register for it or something, and then it gets sent to your email. So I was Ribbon Workbench. I already had it in system. Always I have a zip file, but REST Builder and CRM Code Editor, I always will be downloading it and putting in some local folder, have it in a USB drive, connect it. So a lot of steps. So I was thinking and a whole bunch of workflow assemblies, custom workflow assemblies. So I was all the open source tools pretty much are in GitHub now. And they have the release files, pretty much a managed solution or unmanaged. So I was thinking there's too much time. If I have a new project going on, I have 3 different environments. I definitely need this in all the environments, and I need one click to do everything. So I pretty much did this to help people to first know what are the open source solutions available that you can leverage at the moment, and you don't really need to kind of go into GitHub, download it, just takes 15-20 minutes. Just do one click, install it into multiple environments, and then just start your.
That's awesome. So it helped you save time. Now that's something we recognize from all the tools.
Yes, so pretty much I think I just want to. I think who said that? If I do it, maybe it's Daryl. I think.
Yes.
If you do it twice, you're doing too much or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
I'm a lazy developer. If I do something twice, that's once too much.
Yes, correct. Yeah. But the problem, I just had to spend some time. I probably spend maybe 2 weeks or something to build this tool. But once I build it, the part about so if there are if you are releasing a new managed solution in GitHub, you pretty much can go into this repo, and then there is a file called db.json, and you can add your project into that db.json, and it will magically show up. So pretty much the part about maintaining this, as people release more solutions, I can just add it, and it's I don't even need to build it or anything. It's all loaded from GitHub.
So you don't need to update the XrmToolBox tool itself.
No,
the tool reads this JSON file.
Yes, correct. It's like a plugin store. So pretty much I don't need to build it. I just need to add it to db.json, and then it just shows up. Yeah.
Pluginception.
Pluginception.
Yep. Not plugin exception, but pluginception. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So what's the one tool that doesn't exist that you wish did?
What is the one tool that doesn't exist in Solution Installer?
No.
No. Just in total.
Think
anything.
Broadly. In the universe.
Think Power Platform. Think whatever you want to think.
Power Platform. If there is one tool that doesn't exist, I'll be working on it right now. But I don't know. I can't think. There are so many tools, but I think it's kind of amazing now. I'm it's I don't know. It's scary sometimes. I don't want to Google it first to see. I have this idea. If I say that I have this idea, I just want to develop on it. Now I am more inclined to Google it first to see whether someone has done it, and I don't need to do the work. because earlier, like maybe like a couple of years back, I'm like, oh man, I have this awesome idea and I just want to work on this tool. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be like lock myself and I'm going to just do it and I'm going to release it. And then sometimes I'll find out like even blog posts, I guess, like, I'll just do it and then publish it, and then someone will have this published like 3 months ago or 2 weeks ago, or probably even on the same day, and it's like really frustrating. It's like, man, I spent so much time. Now I'm like, okay, I'm like wiser now. I just need my problem solved, so I just Google it first, and if I can't find it, then I'll probably try to build one. But right now, I don't know. I don't think there are any. Like, it's all like we have the XrmToolBox. So for CRM kind of online, I don't know whether we have any sort of Power Apps or Flow. I think Jonas has, I think, probably branched into the Flow world. He's got this popular copy pasting on Fetch XML Builder, I guess, to help people doing the Flow. So I think he has started tech in the first step. So I don't know whether there are more tools possible to kind of help people on the Flow world, on Power Apps world. Just have to see whether there's anything that is kind of unique to this Canvas apps or Flow world. So that's probably the next step. Yeah.
I think it's sort of two-sided as well, because it's always cool when you find this void. I can fill it with a really smart tool here. But on the other hand, of course, we want Microsoft to deliver a complete platform, not without these voids that needs to be filled by third parties or open source initiatives.
They wouldn't be MVPs, Jonas, if that is the case.
No, we wouldn't. Okay. Thank you, Microsoft, for...
Thank you, Microsoft, just thank you for the opportunity, yes.
I'm sure the only reason they have those holes is just so we can become MVPs. That's the only
absolutely.
reason. So.
Yes.
All right. So I got one final question, and that is, with the new Edge browser being based on Chromium, when will the extensions work in the new Edge browser?
It is actually like Edge. I think I had 3 repos, one for Chrome, one for Firefox, and one for Edge. But now pretty much, if you have the zip file, it pretty much like all the three actually use the same kind of manifest. They have the exact same Chrome extension. So right now, if you want to, you can just download the Level Up zip file and you can just sideload it. I don't know whether it's possible to host it on the Edge web store, because you can do that even earlier, like even before they moved to Chromium, when they had their own rendering engine. It was because pretty much it was the same format of like Chrome. So I had it in Edge side-loaded pretty much, so it still works. Yeah.
So it's a Chrome store extension, but it works in all the other browsers.
Yeah, because they just unified, because Chrome is just killing everyone else, so everyone has just adapted Chrome's style of extension creation. So now it's all portable. There's all portable.
So those that aren't in IE7 or IE9 or whatever, if they aren't on those, they should be able to sideload it then.
They are probably using CRM 2016. In this case, the tool won't be very helpful for them, I guess. I don't know. Maybe like CRM4. They're probably using CRM4. I don't know. Probably.
So Natraj, how do people reach out to you?
Yes, there is my Twitter. It's just pretty much. I don't use my full name, so it's like Raj Yegnaraman. That's pretty much I use for every other place. So that's my Twitter handle, and I have my blog at dreamingincrm.com. So pretty much, I think I'm mostly active on Twitter. So that's pretty much the one channel that if you want to contact me, you can contact me from there. Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Jonas, that we want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good. I mean, from my side, lunch is over. I guess your breakfast is over, and Natraj is getting ready to go to bed. So I think we should call it a day.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. And if you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to reach out to us. And that email address again, Jonas, is?
cast@XrmToolBox.com.
All right. And I love the fact that I got it wrong once, and so I just let you say it each time now. So.
Yeah, I like the confidence you have in me there.
Yes, I do. Total and utter confidence. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
This has been the XrmToolCast from CRM Audio with Jonas Rapp and Daryl Labar. Do you have questions for Jonas and Daryl or suggestions for future episodes? Send it to cast@XrmToolBox.com. This is a production of Dynamics Podcast, LLC.